Thanksgiving is almost here, so let's paint a gnome to celebrate. So with my mop brush, I'm going to take tan, white, and a little bit of dark brown and do back and forth strokes all the way down my canvas. I'm using 11 by 14 stretch canvas today. Don't blend the colors all into one, but let them play together. And then when it's dry, take a little bit of dark brown and do back and forth strokes at the very bottom for a table for him to sit on. Before we paint the gnome though, I'm going to paint a beginner pumpkin off to the right of my table because I want the gnome to be sitting slightly in front of the pumpkin. So this is just going to be a small pumpkin. I'm starting with white first to get the shape. Just do that teardrop shape in the middle and then a backward C and letter C on either side, getting those curves. Fill them in with white completely and then dry it so you can paint it a color. If you've seen my other pumpkin paintings this year, you'll know the different steps for a pumpkin. If you didn't see those, I'll have a link to those videos in the description as well. Fill that white in with the color pumpkin you choose. Yellow makes a great highlighting color, so while those are still wet, brush on some yellow. And while it's still wet, you can do your shading. So I'm going to take a little bit of brown then on my brush and contour the pumpkin in where the ribs are and around the edges. If the orange is still wet, it's going to be easier to make it blend. So I try to work pretty quickly because acrylic craft paint does dry pretty fast. Before the brown dries though, take some orange and blend that in. This is also a chance to make your orange more of a dirty orange so that your pumpkin isn't super bright. It'll be more like a fall orange. I like to even go back in with some yellow and highlight down from the top and then cover that with orange as well. However much detail you want to do. And after I did that first bit of shading, I like to go back in and darken some of the areas where the ribs would be super shaded like that. You can't forget to have a stem either, so taking a size 3 round brush, is just a smaller version of the bigger round brush I was using, you're going to add a stem like we did before in other pumpkin paintings. Just outline the top, and you can curve it however you want. I'm going to curve mine off to the right. And there's my pumpkin. Let the pumpkin dry and then grab a larger round brush. This is a size 8 again because we're going to paint his body. Pick a color for his shirt. I used dark red. I'm just going to do an oval that curves down and around. Notice it's going to go in front of that left side of the pumpkin, and it's flattened a little bit at the bottom. Fill that shape in. You may need to do 2 coats. And while it's still wet, I like to take a little bit of white on my brush and highlight either side along the curve. That just makes him look more round instead of a flat figure. Next, let's give him feet. So I'm going to give him black shoes with a size 3 round brush. Let's do an oval for his foot. I'm going to have it slightly in from the left-hand side here and fill it in with black paint. And his right foot, I want him to be kind of sitting a little bit off center, so I'm going to have his foot leaning to the right, also overlapping the pumpkin just a little bit, and fill it in. There's his feet. Now, for the beard, I'm going to take a size 3 round brush and start using white with a little bit of black in it. You can make him as gray or as white bearded as you want, but just start shaping your beard using curved little strokes. I picture my beard like kind of curving around to the right and then going in front of the top of his foot a little bit. I'm going to curve it around and shape it on either side. I suggest starting small and then working your way out. So I shape my beard and start filling it in and then add more brush strokes on either side as needed. Super cute. You can add more later, but dry it so you can add his nose. So I'm going to make a flesh color with some tan, white, and a little bit of red, and do an oval up at the top of his beard in the middle and fill it in. While it's still wet, don't forget to add a little bit of shading around the bottom edge. I just took a tiny bit of black on my brush and then blended that into the nose. So it's darker at the bottom, and then at the top of the nose, take a little bit of white and make it a little bit brighter for more of a highlight. This is going to give the illusion of the nose being round then. Once you have the nose and the beard, grab a color for your hat. I'm going to use a size 8 round brush and do a curve that goes around the nose. Don't worry if the beard doesn't match up with the curve exactly. We're just getting the shape in. And I'm going to do the shape of a cornucopia, which I was thinking about earlier and realized they are very similar to the shape of gnome hats. So get your shape in there and fill it in. We're gonna pretend that the gnome dumped out the food from the cornucopia, put it on his head, and then he's gonna be eating a piece of corn on the cob. That is my vision. We're gonna go with it, but you can do whatever style gnome hat you'd like. While that dries, don't forget to give him arms. So I'm going to take the same color I did for the body and do 2 curved shapes coming out from the left and right hand sides of his beard. Just make a little bit of a flat top on each of them on either side. And just like we did with his shirt, I'm also going to take a little bit of white paint and highlight those curves as well. Something like that. And then once the shirt is dry, make the skin color again for your hands. You want it to match the nose a little bit. I'm going to do a little oval on either side, but leaving a little gap in the middle so that he has room to be holding something. Now that we have the arms and the hat in, we can fill in the beard a little bit more. So you're probably going to have gaps on the left and right hand sides of his nose. So make sure you add some brush strokes that meet up to the hat. You can also add little hairs that go over the edge of the arms to make it look like they're coming out of his beard instead of sticking on like stickers. And I'm even adding a little bit more of a gray tint to my beard. That's up to you. There we go. Now again, you can use just a regular style gnome hat for your painting, but let me show you how to turn this into a cornucopia. So first I'm gonna do the rings of the basket along the top half. So I'm taking the same color on the hat I had before, but I added a little bit of white to get the spacing of each of the rings that go around. Notice how I'm making them curved and almost evenly spaced. They're gonna go all the way around to that tip. And then once that white layer dries, I'm going to go back in with the color and just brush it on. You can leave a little gap in between each so you can still see where each of the shapes are. This also helps you get a second coat. And highlighting and shading is everything for this. So I'm using a size 6 round brush, by the way. I'm going to take some dark brown now and start outlining where the gaps are. This is going to show that these curves are all rounded edges of the basket. Do that all the way around to the tip. And just like with the pumpkin, it's important to work fast because while the brown is still wet, I like to go back in with a little bit of a highlight layer. So I'm going to take some of the basket color with some orange next and go in between the dark shaded areas. This is going to change the tint of the hat just a little bit to a warmer brown. And this gives you a chance to also blend in some of that shading if it got too dark. And while the highlight layer is still wet, I like to take a tiny bit of white on my brush and brush it on closer to the right side of each of the rings as well. That's because I want to make sure that the light looks like it's shining down from the right-hand side. Don't worry if the edges of your hat aren't perfectly even because we're going to fix that up later. Looking good. Now let's do the rim of the hat with a size 3 round brush. We're actually going to do the same steps we did to the top part of the hat, but they're going to be going sideways, so each of the curves are going to be backward C's going along the rim, starting with the brown from the hat and a little bit of white to get the spacing. And then I'm going to do another coat of the brown, leaving a little gap so I can tell where each one of the rings are. And then take your dark brown and outline the shaded layer. The shading and highlighting on the rim is just as important as the shading and highlighting on the top part of the hat. So now take your highlight layer with your orange a little bit and don't forget to highlight the top edges as well. Woo, look how that pops. Cornucopias are usually seen around Thanksgiving because they represent gratitude for the many blessings in life, and also abundance. They also have a root in Greek mythology, which I didn't know until I started researching the topic. I learned so much when I do these paintings, I'll tell you. Just like I didn't know anything about gnome mythology until I painted a gnome. But anyway, one more step. Take a small round brush with a little bit of black and with your dark brown. Notice how I'm brushing up a little bit of a really dark shaded area along the rim, so it looks like he has shading underneath that. And I'm even going to add a little bit of extra shading along the rings as well. We already have some muted shading. I'm going to make it a little bit darker in each and also make it slightly darker on the shaded areas on the left side of the hat because we did our highlighted areas along the right side. Speaking of abundance, let's give him a piece of corn. Since he's wearing a cornucopia, he should be munching on a piece of corn on the cob. So just do a dark yellow long oval. I'm even going to point it a little bit at the top like a piece of corn. Let's even add some husks to the bottom of the corn, taking some dark green. I'm going to do 2 little leaves on either side. You can add some light green highlights to those as well. If you really want to get detailed with the corn, take a detail brush with some bright yellow and white and just lightly dot on rows of corn kernels all the way across that dark yellow layer. Doesn't that make that pop? You could even add some little kernels that fell off into his beard. Somebody mentioned that, and I love that idea. Don't forget to make it your own. There's so many details you could do. On the left side of him, why don't we do a group of grapes? I'm going to do my favorite grape painting method using a small pouncer with some purple, white, and red all on it. All you have to do is press down and twist like a stamp, and it makes a grape. So just keep pressing down and twisting in different circles, layering them on top of each other in the shape of a bunch of grapes. It really is that easy. You can even go over top of it and by adding a little bit of white into it to make them look round. Yeah, they look like grapes. You can also add details, like I'm going to take a detail brush and take some dark brown to make a stem. Just super simple. You can take some green and add some curlicues for vines. Just ornamental, doesn't have to be exactly realistic. Let's add some highlights to my stem with a little bit of tan. And on the pumpkin, let's add some curlicues too to go along with the theme. There we go. Isn't he cute? Now, remember I said we'd fix up the edges on the hat? I like to go back in and line my figures with black. You don't have to do this. You could use a different color and fix them up however you want. I like to outline different things that I want to pop. I don't always outline the nose. In fact, I think this is the first one I decided to outline just to see what it looks like, but you don't have to do every single thing in an outline. I just am out of curiosity. I'm going to do his shirt. I'm even going to do the pumpkin and some of the grapes as well, just around the outside, just to make him look more like a cartoon. It's up to you what style. Also optional, I like to take white and add pops of highlights and expression strokes in different places like the nose and on the edge of the arms and the hat. You do not have to do this. Again, I just like to do it out of curiosity because I think it makes it look like he's popping off of the canvas. And as a final step, I'm going to take an artist sponge and just bounce a little bit of dark brown texture around the outside edges of my canvas. This will make him look framed, but you can finish it off however you want. Don't forget to make it your own. And if you missed my Christmas gnome painting tutorial, I will link that in the description as well because gnome paintings are so popular right now. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and if you try this one, I'd love to see how it turns out. Happy painting, everybody.